Atlas in the hot seat tonight.
And Atlas.
Goes by the name of Atlas the Bookkeeper. How you feeling, my friend?
Now, what we should do very briefly is talk about yesterday and talk about the future. Because I think we have a few things to talk about in regards to that. In a nutshell, I really don't think that I should really talk about this as a major segment. I just want to get it out of the way, okay? I think I'm done with drama-style content, at least for the foreseeable future. Reason being, I just don't think that my core audience cares about it. I do think that there was an audience that cared about it for a while, for a few months there, and then the hype died down, and now people are like, all right, well, I want things to go back to normal. And every once in a while, you know, I would still cover a story about Review Tech USA or something like that if he's, you know, saying something stupid or whatever. And by the way, I still will every once in a while if I feel like it's appropriate, okay? But for the most part, you know, the sentiment that I was getting from a lot of the longtime viewers and regulars was, we appreciate that there's some hype and excitement around, you know, around DSP at this point, but we hope that this doesn't change. Jasper, don't move the mic. We hope that this doesn't change the core of who you are as a content creator. We primarily watch you for gaming and your takes on gaming. And yes, we also like hanging out with you and having chill nights and things like that. But we don't want you to become a drama content creator. And a few people actually expressed strong dislike at the fact that, you know, for a couple of months there, it seemed like on the Level 1 podcast, a lot of the stuff we were doing was very drama related. The thing is, I enjoyed the variety, but at the same time, to maintain that kind of content essentially takes up so much of your time that now you don't really have time for other stuff. Like, how can I be a drama style creator, getting into feuds with other people, covering them and basically clowning on them, but also be playing a whole bunch of games, maintaining a good amount of playthroughs, not falling behind, not having to skip stuff, you know what I'm saying? And if you didn't notice, that's what was happening. Basically, as I dived into the drama in August, September, and October, which were the 3 major months that I did it, I basically fell behind a lot of gameplay, playthroughs and things that I definitely normally would have been on top of. A lot of streams were dedicated to doing other content, you know, interviews or appearances and things like that, correct? So, you know, after doing it for around 3 months, I kind of announced to you guys yesterday, all right, that basically, not yesterday, last month. Last month, I announced to you guys I was tired of doing interviews or trying to schedule interviews. It was taking up too much of my time. I would much rather be enjoying things like, you know, the holiday season. I don't know why I'm sitting around at night sending DMs on Discord or Twitter trying to line up interviews that, quite frankly, aren't even really in my wheelhouse. Now, listen, I completely understand that venturing out and doing some stuff different every once in a while is great. And I want you to also know that this doesn't mean that I'm definitely not going to be doing stuff in the future. For example, right now, I am in talks planning the next collab event. All right, I am. And it's not like, oh my God, rushing to do it, or oh my God, you know, here's all the details, but already things are in the works. Like, I'm not dropping the fact that, oh, people are interested in maybe doing stuff with me or anything like that, okay? It is a possibility that I'm going to be doing stuff, but it's just not going to be my major focus, okay? I don't want to say that I lost my way, because I definitely didn't, but absolutely, you know, having to focus so much off of the gameplay stuff got distracting, right? And, you know, I told you, I was getting pulled in so many directions, and I didn't really know what to focus on. But what I want to say is thanks, because a lot of people there for that few months were like, whoa, they were worried. that, Phil's going to change. Phil's not going to want to do the same kind of stuff anymore because he's going to see the popularity and the money that he can make doing this other content, right? You're right. I mean, take a look. Look at the insane increase in views and support that I received making drama content, right? And I did it for a few months, and man, it was a huge spike in attention. People saying, hey, now you're seeing it in a positive light. People like seeing you, rag on people, keep it up. But as much as I felt like it was fun to do and people liked it, it's not who I want to be, and it's not who I am. I'm not saying that, hey, if someone becomes an immense jerk to me or has been an immense jerk to me, that giving them their comeuppance is out of the question. That's not the case at all. In fact, quite the opposite. All right. In fact, as you know, it seems like the people who have been nasty to me over the years and used me as their stepping stone for personal gain, i.e. using me and this community as a negative thing so that they could get a big rise or make money or whatever it is, seems like they're all falling apart themselves. Like, I don't have to lift a finger. They all are just going to come crashing down as their closets open and their skeletons pour out. That's just going to happen. It's called karma, right? So, I'm definitely not worried. I know that heading into next year, especially, we're going to have a nice holiday week coming up. We're going to do a gaming schedule update where we're going to figure out the schedule for next year. And we're going to figure out what things we're doing, what I'm planning and everything. We're going to figure it out, all right? And then we're going to have fun. It's going to be a good one this next year, particularly once the hot new games start coming out and the fact that I have an insanely good setup to play them, right? It doesn't matter what game it is. If it's a PC or console exclusive, what format, what platform I'm on, no matter what, I have the capability to play everything at a very high level, and I don't mean skill-wise. I mean, graphics-wise and giving you a great quality stream and on-demand video. Also, I'm learning video editing again for the first time in many years. I'm enjoying making these clips of funny things that happen or notable things that happen in the gameplay that I do. And I'm hoping that every day I can maybe slap together one or two highlights, either from this podcast or from gameplay, that are going to be entertaining to you. So that way people can get a little teaser of what happened that day, and then you can check out the full videos later if you would like to. Okay? So this is some new stuff for next year. Not only an improved setup when it comes to the quality of the videos and streams, but me actually putting in more effort when it comes to doing stuff like the highlights. But every once in a while, you will see other stuff as well. Like I said, I already am in the works planning some collab stuff. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is because yesterday was a full day of reacting to the Mr. Metokur documentary by June the King. And I think that a lot of people, especially those who thought this was a great idea for me to do, thought that me reacting to that documentary was going to bring up a lot of drama, that it was going to be the kind of thing like me reacting to the Rich documentary or my own documentary. And you might say, well, why is that? Because Mr. Metokur, over the years, basically brought me up a lot, made fun of me a ton. And in fact, I mean, we even saw in the documentary that he had his avatar on his streaming program. I think it was, I don't know if it was on Discord or whatever they were using, Google Hangouts or whatever, was me in my Ghostbusters outfit from my Halloween special from like 2015 or 2016, posing with a bunch of naked dudes dancing at a gay bar. And his account name was Brightside Bob, right? So it's obvious there's an association there. And I think people knew that and were like, oh, this will be interesting to have Phil cover that arc of, when he was razzing him or whatever, and see how he reacts to it. It's literally not in the documentary. The documentary is an hour and a half long. It covers Metokur's origins as an internet troll. Then it covers how he formulated who he was on YouTube as Mr. Metokur. And then it covers like 2 or 3 of his arcs, like the Bathtub Bob, I think is one of them, or whatever his name is. And then Mundane Matt and like one other. And then it's basically the finale. So it doesn't go into a lot of detail about most of his stuff. Like a lot of people were saying one of his biggest things was, I guess, Sargon, who I don't even know who that is. And they're like, it doesn't even mention that at all. Like, and that's one of his biggest things that happened. So basically, it was kind of a nothing burger. It was more of an educational thing for me to learn about Mr. Metokur, but it wasn't like highly entertaining. I didn't have a lot of dramatic stuff to say. By the end, I actually was feeling pretty sad, because the very end of the documentary reveals that with all of Metokur's health issues, that he was just trying to raise money via, streams or selling merch or whatever to pay for, his medical bills and to support his family. And he had people coming out accusing him of lying of all of that. And he basically showed all his medical information. And that's just effed up, like, to the 10th power for me, that someone would have to put their own personal stuff on the internet, which is none of anyone's business whatsoever, because of pieces of shit who think that they're like internet crusaders. I'm going to expose this guy. I suspect he's lying about his disease, so I'm just going to keep saying he's a liar and force him to put all this shit on the internet. It's so fucked up. And if anything, I'm so happy that I don't have involvement in this drama community, right? The whole sphere or whatever they call it. I have nothing to do with it. And I'm happy. I'm happy that I stayed away and I'm still able to make a living and have a good time with you guys every day, that I'm not embroiled in it and dependent on it for my livelihood. Because my God, if I had to constantly be embroiled with this level of drama and shit, it would drive me nuts. I would lose my mind. So anyway, the React is up fully over on DSP React, okay? But basically, people didn't really like it. They thought it was quite boring. The attendance yesterday was poor. Like, I had less attendance for the React event than I do for a normal gameplay stream. I'm not kidding you. Right now, on this podcast, I have 250 attendees. On Kick, I have about 45. That is more attendance than I had for the React event. And I just started the podcast. Like, we're not even, not anything important right now. But that's what I mean. So, basically, the way I see it, I don't think I'm going to really be doing this kind of drama reacting content moving forward. I'm not saying that I don't want to do reacting. In fact, I do. But what I want to do now, I'm almost kind of glad that we did it. And here's why. Right now, things are still going good. Streams are going well. Support is good. It's okay to have a dud of a day like that, because now we tested the waters. We saw, okay, it doesn't really work. Instead of worrying about that moving forward, let's redouble our efforts to do other kinds of reacting. But what should it be? That's what we got to figure out. We got to figure out what exactly is it that you guys are interested in seeing me react to. And already some of the members that stayed on DSP Reacts have suggested some interesting information, interesting suggestions there. And I want to look at them and review them. We have a while, because now we just did that react. Likely the next react that I would be looking to do would be in mid to late January. So we have some time to look at things and determine what it should be. And I think it'll be interesting if we can find topics that you feel that I can add to or that I should know about. You know what I mean? Like, let's figure that out. And we will begin now to talk about that stuff over the next several weeks into January. Since I have data. If you are a member on DSP Reacts, please, by all means, the thread is there where you can submit suggestions, and I'd love that, because your feedback is key, and I'm going to get feedback here from people on the podcast and stuff like that. I guess we'll see. Okay, I guess we'll see how it goes, but I don't want to give up on reacting altogether because of one day that was kind of a dud, where attendance was low. People weren't really interested. I mean, to be honest, the first stream we did hit the goal, which is why, as you can see, we've hit goals, hit 13. But it was because a couple people came in and were like, hey, so FYI, we're from, Kino Casino, and we like your stuff, and we just wanted to support you today. So I was like, that's great. But I mean, that could have happened on any day. I don't think it was directly related to the React or anything like that. It was just people being nice and generous for the holidays. So, the late stream, we had less than 200 viewers. I think it was like 130 viewers. I'm not kidding. And made $30. So the late stream was an utter disaster, right? Like, no one really cared about the finale of the React. So, let's figure it out. But FYI, for now, for the foreseeable future, I'm focusing on games and gameplay. I'm focusing on my holiday event next week, the Christmas Marathon. And then the year-end stuff, meaning my Game of the Year countdown, my disappointing Games of the Year countdown, which will probably be the first week of January-ish. We'll see. And then we're going to start focusing on all the new games of the next year, and then we'll figure out the next React, okay? So FYI, that's the deal. So don't freak out, because some people are like, oh my God. Of course, my detractors having their insane parties yet again. I swear, for my detractors, they just think like every day's a party. Like every possible day. Oh my God, so Phil didn't have good attendance, and his second stream was, really slow and had no support. The Renaissance is over. No one likes Phil. You couldn't be any more slow. You really couldn't be. It's just, to be honest, I'm happy it's all over with, because the whole thing of, oh, will Metokur appear on Phil's show? What will happen during the... I don't care at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to play games and chill with you guys. So now we're back to kind of more holiday-themed normalcy, and I'm happy to be back. Okay? So, it's done. It's over with. It's in the rear view. We move forward positively. We have fun with games, highlights, holiday fun, good stuff coming up.